so YouTube VOD's ready. Then doing that. I think you know the score from this point onwards. You don't need me to tell you anymore. Go switch to that. I'm going now. Bye. Desperately love to gain all this time on anyone ahead. Get a couple quick 10 seconds. That's descend! What was that from JB? That was a very, very odd move and the break-in. Makes him think about it is enough to make him get some space, and that's an error around the corner as well. As a slide, and that might be enough to open the door, and I think Ethan has done that sweetly. That is honestly a nice move. This is absolute pandemonium for this race. Chaotic, everyone's dropping everywhere. This corner's amazing for letting people go for it. I think I've just seen is that... As Ryan is looking on the inside to send it at turn 3. He's almost going to collect the AlphaTauri. He is going to collect the AlphaTauri. This is going to be a bit mental. Into this. Oh my sweet Jesus, we've just seen. I don't mean keeping an eye on the weather, but is this a routine stop? GB Sanderson. We're going all of them. Am I sniffing through wide? Who's for a brief second was in the lead as well. Josh does go ahead and cross the line to take the win. And oh my. And this is the thing I actually want to mainly keep an eye on, as Brian and Josh have made contact before finishing settings. Coming across the line we go. Squeezes him all the way to the line. F1 Kid has won. Sasso's not going to try and go down the inside. And we're going to have a little free, full wide moment again in NSL lead. Over the line we go. And the smallest gap we've probably seen in NSL history has given Josh the win in Brazil by 1600. Ah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. We are back. NSL is back. It's doing... It feels like we're doing it right now, even though we have been delayed slightly. We're cooking. Welcome back. The Italian Grand Prix, we've done with Monza. Don't worry about that. The game's the game. We are introing this at a normal speed. You are all waiting for this. If the lobby has to wait, the lobby's waited. Don't worry about it. We'll up the music. How about that? We'll have to up the music. Game's the game. We're at Monza. The track looks like this. You're used to it. It's 27 laps. Don't worry about all the good stuff. It's fine. It's a good time. Calendar. We'll have to put it on so you know what we're coming up with next. We've got Spa. We've got everything. Why do I feel like I can't speak English today? You know what all this stuff is? You're used to it. It's fine. It's all good. I'm not even going to throw in the rules, and I'm even going to throw in the standings immediately because I haven't even shown that in about 4 weeks. Let's have a little look. Dylan's on top. 184 points, 128 for Josh. The gap's grown a tiny bit, but don't worry about that. Well, someone shouldn't have to worry about it. F1 Line is in third with 94 points. Further down we go, we've got Ron, Ethan, Pooch. Turbo Snow's up to this a little bit since we last had the updated graphics. Then Kieran, then Kizzo, then Ralph. The teams have shuffled a tiny bit, just a little. But Haas is still pretty much at the top. Ferrari's still second with a big gap. Then an even bigger gap to the Williams. This is where it shuffles a bit. Mercedes have jumped up to fourth. McLaren's up to fifth. The gap's opened up. Alpine and Aston have both dropped. And the bottom three have stayed pretty much the same the entire season. It hasn't changed for a hot second. And that's an issue. And one thing before we get to the other scene. It's a big day. So... We had to cook up. So if Sonny Hayes is cooking, we had to be ready for the scene. So we you know, it's just normal business. When Sonny Hayes is on the show, Now, without further ado, let me press this unmute button and let me take you into the show. We've got one more thing left, chat. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. That seems to be a sound. Should we switch? Is very, very necessary. Battery 75, 65, and I think that's a battery being deployed. Is he thinking about a move up? Is he thinking about a move through cops? He isn't, is he? He is. He is thinking about it. Both of them stay in the track limits whilst doing so. I respect it. That is an attempt I love to see. Okay. Was there a bad exit from Mr. Josh there? Because that wasn't looking like a position change was due. Are we also not going to see a critical corner? I think we just might. Part 6, I think? Dylan gets the position back on him. How is that? What? No. If you're extending onto a soft, those mediums will be going on for quite a little bit longer, and there might be a bigger gap than expected. We'll see. But everyone is so far within DRS. Hang on. I just missed that in the background, but I saw an Aston Martin traveling so far away from the racing line, it's unheard of. That will be Pooch out of the race at Cops, and that is a virtual safety car to add on to it as well. I think Critical Corners Part 3 just happened. Pooch on a 3-second as well. Couple people with pens to the name. We'll leave that on the screen for a bit as most of the tyres are the same. And that is Ethan very far around and into the wall with a safety car to be given. And that's probably the greatest present he could have given as a Ferrari teammate.
It's a disgrace. That's what it is. A disgrace.
Before.
Setting laps early, by the way. For context, Pooch doesn't do qualifying most of the time until the last 2 seconds. I'm confused at this one. Is Pooch just like, is he locked in today? Is he just no, he's not. Pooch is not locked in. He's firmly locked out of his home at 2 AM in the morning. He is not allowed to be locked in. Sonny Hayes contender. Did I not warn you, Pooch, that you might be put in for Sonny Hayes 3 weeks in a row? So, well, that does appear to be, you know, thoughts. I need something. I need to reset this because this is broken as well. Why has this happened? Boom. Let's go do the thing. All right, let's go do the thing. Switch to scenes. Give me the track. We're gonna go race. I forgot that's actually part of what we do here. Slightly. I'll ask more about it later. Listen, I was in the editing suite for a hot second. We need to get the invites in because I think we're missing some people firstly. So I'll do that and then let's have it. How many people are we? Oh, on queue as well. Oh, why not? Why not? Why not? We might as well. We might as well get some suspension of the voice chat. I mean, if we're there. Okay. Who are we missing? We've got 11. I think it's just one more left who needs to be invited into the session. Where's the list of people's names? Ethan's already in. Boom. We've got Josh in. We've got F1 Lightning in. We've got Apollo Pepsi in. Have we? No. Okay. That's the one person we're missing. Good to go. Right. Let's go spam the invite. Oh, Tatalus needs one. Oh, wait. Is Apollo Pepsi in? I can read names. Don't worry. It's fine. My bad. My bad. Right. Let's get the invites in so we're good to go. Where is... Oh, don't tell me it's one of the names that's decided to not appear online. Just in case I'm blind. Yeah, Apollo wasn't in. I knew I wasn't missing that one. Wait. Now I've got to scroll. We'll do it. We'll do it. Don't worry, Tatal. We'll get you in. We'll get you in. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. No. On the second page. Damn. Almost there. Almost there. Mitch faxing open. Channel point predictions on the cards if you want to hop it. Just going to say I'm going to continue calling you ASAP Rocky for the rest of the stream. I'll take it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling this today. This is good. This is a bit of me. I'm a fan of this. Everyone's in. It's time to ready up. It's time to go do the thing. Josh, by the way, I've only just realized I didn't ping in the Discord for the YouTube. Thank you very much for that. We are live on both, so we can have the VOD there. Ready as hands up. Let's go do it. Let's go race. Let me ping it in the Discord. This is a great time. Yeah, I'm there. Listen, for the first time in a long time, a suit was available. And I was like, I've been waiting for the perfect excuse to actually run this. And the 3-week delay of Sonny Hayes was the one. For the race and stuff, we'll get to that later. I've got Waffle prepared for that. We just haven't had time to even speak about that yet. It'll be a good time. It'll be a very good time, right? 13 seconds left. There's a graphic or two left I haven't even shown yet, but we'll get to that in a second. It's not as important, but I'm still quite a fan of it. The game's a game. Sonny Hayes, I'm hoping it is worth it. I haven't got a clue. Was it worth being late by 15 minutes? That's on you lot to decide, I guess, because I don't know. Right, music, chill a little bit. We need to relax. While that's waiting, I can give you one more graphic, which is just chill, which we haven't seen in a while. And it's a bit of Fabrizio Dende content, because it's been a hot second since I've seen some tweets cooking up in the business. And in the meantime, we've had to have some things coming through. Josh getting absolutely violated with the 007 meme, which was not scheduled by me or anything. This just came through and cooked. It had to be the main event. But also, a late contender, whilst I was busy just making graphics, Pooch just decided to... I don't know why he decided to say that in the NSL Discord, but he did decide to say exactly what was on your screens. So, yeah, that's that. That is now everything. We can actually focus on the race, and we'll see how long it takes for me to absolutely hate wearing a suit for more than 5 seconds when it's not actually required. There's an even longer timer now. And it stopped again. Eventually, there we go. Stop the music now. Ooh, so, hi, chap. How we doing? Found new feature on my AirPods. I've clicked the little button thing 4 times. But oh, banger. I don't even know if I know about that feature. Banger, we love that. No rain will be there. That's boring. Why am I hearing about this dry weather condition? Right, so Monza would have been fun with some rain. That's quite boring. I know if you click twice better on a thing, it auto starts playing music in general. That's like whatever's last playing, but normally it defaults not on music because that's the normal thing. I don't know if it's just that, but I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I know you can put a shortcut for... Sounds right-ish. I just don't know. I'm not used to doing that in 1 click. Anyways, cars. Should we do that? Should we do the cars part? That's kind of important. Who's on track? We've got a few cars, but none of them are allowed to be watched yet. At any point, there we go. The first car I've gone on board with is Aaron Hazel. The man who's been desperate to have his graphic on the screen, and the 1 week he could have got his graphic on the screen, I wasn't even here to put it on. set it up properly, so I have to. I'll just send him it personally. But he's here again. He's cooking up. He's been on a few fourth place merchant vibes, but he's been away from that. So he's decided. I don't know what he's decided, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but he decided last race to just put in a wall. That and Turbo's DNF narrowly missed out on actually making their way into. I'm not putting you in Sonic Hills. Ron, I'm telling you right now, you're not going in it. You're not going in for this. You are firmly not going in from this clip. You're staying out. You're staying out. I refuse. Not even gonna look anymore. We'll go on board with someone else instead. That way we don't even have to give him the vibes. Okay, we're good. Spurs is retired from the session. Is that? Am I missing this? This can't be on the track. No? Oh, Qualiban, of course. I was going to say. I assumed it was an on-track crash because I was looking at McLaren. Yes, of course. We do need to go through some pens that we've got. We've had a few being given since, but no one's relevant today, as I'm now noticing. That was an odd time for me to mention it. Was one Qualiban for Spurs. He's accumulated enough super license points, so he's out of that. But he can still take part in the race. There's nothing wrong with that. Ethan, I thought, was absolutely zooming past the apex. But he seems okay. It's a good time. Ron is doing... Is Ron stopped belay? Ron is stopped doing belay. I'm assuming he's still not going to take part in quali, but he might be giving a toe to his teammate. That might be on the cards. We'll maybe go on board with him for a bit. I think that is... So he goes and does a roulette, and then helps his teammate out on the way to a possible something. I assume he's just going to go straight on to give his teammates some space, and he has done just that. All right, we'll stay on board with Kieran, see what lap times we've got. I have no clue what's going to be set for who, so predict if who you want on pole based off whatever you like. I can give you stats on who's been on pole most recently. The prediction's still open, right? Yeah, so it's still relevant to me actually say such things. In every single normal qualifying session, person who's got pole is currently 9th place with no lap, Dylan in the Haas. Every single normal quality session that hasn't been a sprint, as Kieran has invalidated already, so that's going to be no further for him. Every time, it's been him. The other times it hasn't was in China, the sprint, where we have a one-shot quali to do qualifying. Josh got that one. And then the next time in Austria, Turbosno got that one himself. So Josh is here, Turbo isn't for that one. So technically, someone else can possibly deny him. There he is on the track as well. Where are the lap times? We are waiting a long time. I think Kizza might be one of the first then to set one. He is still going. Unemployment task going hard on Dylan's profile is rude. Absolutely rude. I'm not gonna lie. Crossed the line first time, finally. 20.8. That's what we've got. And I do believe, is that Ron again? He is. So it looks like since he's waiting for Kieran and he didn't work out the first time, he's gonna give him another toe again. I respect it, fair enough. I think that is the next car of the Alpine of Lewis. That is not using all the track. I was very much expecting it to follow where the camera went, but he decided didn't want to do that. I respect it. We'll see what he's got instead. We need some more times to populate the board. Last time in Monza last season, everyone set banging first laps, and then the second lap where everyone normally improves, tracks rubbered in, everyone's warmed up, no one improved. Not a single person basically set any improvement on the lap. That didn't look a little scruffy from the first time I went on board. Don't know if the rest of the lap was, but it's a 22.9. That's... I'm assuming there's plenty of time in it. Polo Pepsi starting his lap. Meanwhile, Washed Cat 07, Rowlick setting a 20 dead to start the board off, and that's an invalidation. Immediately starting the board off for his teammate. Bit of contrary strats there. Not gonna lie. And there's an invalidation for Ethan, but I think that wasn't just there. No, he's just starting a lap. Okay. So I'm assuming he validated it a long time ago and he's decided to back off and have another go. Look at the towage. Look at the 19 deads. The literal 19 dead. Where has that come from? An entire second clear of any time set already. There's only been 4 times set, including that one, but okay. No clue if he had a toe or anything, but it looks like both the Hasses were pretty isolated from each other, so unless it was a lucky one, there wasn't one planned. The Ferrari got a nice-ish one on turn 1, though. Up to turn 1, I should say. And there's a purple being given, but that's a very wide moment, and I have a feeling he's going to keep the lap going. He needs some lap, but I think he knows that one's quite scrapped right now, and he has backed off. Not the best start you want to have. Meanwhile, we've got here with a 20.5 who's finally got a lap on the board. His teammate has successfully towed him around the lap. Eventually. Surprised Ethan wasn't going for a lap himself. It looks like he's just sacrificed his run entirely then, because I thought he would at least done one before or after. I guess the invalidation was his go, and if he didn't do it, then didn't really work out or make any sense to. So he just had to give his teammate the bus instead. We've got Marcus. Pooch. Otherwise, no, I'm going to quit calling him Pooch because I cannot call him any other name other than Pooch. But that is him. Number 72 in the Aston is once again out in qualifying before 4 minutes left of the session. He's decided to go earlier. F1 line is set a time of a 19.2. The times are getting a bit more competitive up there. It's getting a lot closer, but that's still almost 3 temps. Around a track that doesn't have many corners. It's closer, though. It's closer than the 20-0. There's other times left to go through. We'll sit on board with Pooch's time for a little bit first, as the rest of the cars are miles away in the middle sector. What have you got from the Aston Martin? Pooch, has he ever... I need to remember if I don't think he's ever set a pole or when he's grabbed a podium. I don't even remember it at this point now. It's been elusive if he's ever got a podium or tried to. He's definitely had chances. I know we've called it out a few times this season. Can he get one or not? And he's missed out, and Sonny Hayes has instead taken a limelight for him. But could maybe... I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out if he can actually do it another time. The grid's more competitive. There's a lot of speedy people at the top. The top 3 are normally the usual suspects that you just don't see once they've ran away. And Dylan has gone to cook against Mr. Marcus. Worked more hours this week than you have in your whole life is crazy. What a great way to respond to this would be to go pole on this time, Pooch. This is what would save you. You cook up a lap that beats him in his own setting, in his preferred place to be driving. In a qualified session, I mean, not in Monza. And then maybe he can do it. Maybe he'll shush. What's the time on the board? It's not a 20. It's a 20.4. It's a good time. It puts him where I'd expect him to go, but unfortunately, the slander might continue. That's not going to help his game. Still missing times from 3 other cars that are expected to actually set laps. We've got Satar on the board right now starting a lap. So that will be one coming through in a bit. Ron and Ethan in the pits. Times are... They're there, as Kizzo's also out on another lap for his McLaren team, which only is him for quality for the moment. But he's back... Well, I say he's back enough. He looks like he was pushing, but then again, he's on none. So I don't know how that made any sense. I don't know how I couldn't tell that by reading. I make mistakes. The game's the game. Times are finally all settled in the 6 temps away from Josh's time. 3 temps from F1 Lightning's time. 2 Dylan at the front is sizable. It's a bit sizable. I'd assume it's very, you know, just first lap, getting it off, you know, just getting the rust off. But still, that's a lot. I'll try and keep an eye on in quali because that's the best place I'm going to check what everyone's street line speed's looking like as well, because that's going to be my best time to check when it's absolute pace. I want to know who's running high wings. I want to know who's, well, higher wings for some reason. Or at least who's running the least. I guess everyone's definitely running low wings. So Tars finally set the lap of a 22.4 on the board, up to 9th. Not last at the time so far, so that's pretty good. Kiddo's setting a purple sector. Allegedly. I mean, it probably could, because there's only one corner really to deal with. You could, even if you're not quick ever else, if you've got a quick car in a straight line, you could probably still pull off a purple there. I just don't know what the sector times are, so I have no clue if that's accurate or not. Pretty much a lot of, I'd say half the grid is now starting to come out. The Hasses are working their way around very far apart, so they are not bothering with the train stuff to give anyone slipstream. Purple again from Kizzo. I mean, it's not looking horrible, but I don't know or form that this is probably a pole time. Surprised it didn't go for any toe, though. I guess it was because it was semi-closest to the racing line and the braking point. He didn't want to really mess around with it. Carries going nicely. On the edge of the lap, where's it going to put him? Any higher than 8th place with a 20.8? It does. 7/10th improvement as 20.1. That's nice. A P6 for him is huge. Okay. All right. Now I'm confused. What happened there? Why was there contention between who was meant to be on the racing line and not? Right. All right. Sure. I'm guessing. Obviously, Ethan was starting a lap, and Kizzo was finishing. And I guess Ethan thought Kizzo would get out the way, so stayed on the racing line, and Kizzo didn't get out the way. I don't know if that's as bad as an impeding, because there's space to go around. That one's a debatable one then. That one, stewards might have a look, and thankfully I ain't one of them. We'll leave that to that. That's a weird one. Probably a impede sort of call, but then less harsh than in the middle of a corner when you've got no option to get away from it. We haven't seen a lap on board with the 2 leaders at the moment. F1 Lightning's starting his lap at the moment, I think. Yes, he is. The one who's finishing it is his teammate trying to go for... How many pole positions in a row with this V? None. Oh, well, 2. And he's coming in. So it doesn't matter anyway. He's not doing it. I say he's not had any in a row since the last one because he was beaten out in the Austria race. But the game's the game. We'll stay on board with his teammate instead. See if he can get some competitive action. He had a great start to the season. And he's been there throughout the entire time. Monaco, we have to give him props to because Monaco is Monaco. and Monaco's. But it's tricky to like actually make stuff happen and perform and actually get any undercuts done or any strategies done. And he actually almost pulled it off to take the lead off, one, his teammate, and two, Josh, when he was in third. It was the one person who actually tried to make the game at the front and almost generally did it. He was, I want to say, half a second away from pulling it on his own team. And I don't know how you're going to get past, because he couldn't do it the entire time round. So that's all you need. Fair enough. It wasn't the same time. I noticed that. Sorry, we admit commentary mistakes. We make a lot of them. We just waffle, and sometimes it's right. Sometimes it works out, and it happens. We'll see if F Lightning follows in. No, he is going to actually carry on his lap and set the time. It's a 19.217, slightly quicker. That's good, though, because it means if he's found time on the used set of tyres, he's probably going to be even better on his brand new. That might be nice and competitive for his big time soon. Ethan, by the way, silently as Josh Invarnates again. I don't know if that was just there. I'm not sure if that was a little bit earlier. In every invalidation for Josh, Ethan screamed that by his teammate all season, by the way. Perform well, on par with him, because he wants Ferrari to get more points, like be annoying to the Hasses. And I know it's not at the end yet, and probably everyone's not set their optimal times, but that's what can happen in a quali session. So if it ended now, Ethan's in third place ahead of his teammate, legitimately on the grid. And there's still time for another lap in. I mean, I don't think Josh has had a clean run properly for his second run, but Ethan is quite literally, he's ahead. It's not even me playing a narrative or anything. Favorite word of a lot of people, but it's just, that's what it is. Josh is going again. He's going to have another attempt on this same set. That's 3 laps. Isn't that the same tyre he started? No, okay, no. I should have really put it on tyre instead of best. That would make a lot more sense. It's fine. Red flag, stop the count, he said stop the count. So I never used tyre run on this because he didn't nail it on his first, but he wouldn't have won him too much if he only did the first sector. Let's stay on. This is quite important for Josh then. Under 5 minutes left to go. We've got the Hasses, by the way, playing some games between each other to help each other out on their next starting laps, or just to... I don't know if that was helping each other out or just traffic, because there was a lot of cars there. I'm not actually sure what was happening. Rao, by the way, has snuck in. What's count with a 19.343. Bigger gap than Josh would want. I know I focus on Josh more than most between him and Dylan because he's the one second in the championship. I have to do that one. Positions are big. Time-wise, he might easily be able to beat half of them. But right now, he isn't doing that, so the game's the game. It is on none again, which means whatever his last attempt he was doing, he's given up one more time. Looks like it's not where it's at ideally, so he's going to hop into the pits. Maybe he's thinking, let's not waste my time, even if it was improving. Get on a brand new tyre, cook up, do my business right there. But there's now multiple cars. Okay. All right. Well, this is interesting. This is interesting scenes. We'll see if he is good. He has to be coming straight in and going on another set. Because if he goes out one more, he's barely going to have time. He is. Polo Pepsi, let's give him some love in the meantime. We haven't looked at the rest of the midfield and lower pack, at least from position-wise right now. That almost looked like it was going to be a beautiful toe, but then the Mercedes refused to grip at all. Looks like he carried so much speed into that corner. And that's a toe being nicked. Who is that being nicked from? That is the Haas of... Is that Dylan? Was that Dylan nicking it on the last? Dylan diving in. You saw... That is different. Dylan diving over to take the slipstream. Negative battery. A 18.754. Ladies and gentlemen, gauntlets are being thrown down. Why is everyone throwing down gauntlets? I don't know why that's a phrase. But that's special. That's a special gap that he's put so far between the rest. Everyone else in the pits, every other car in the pits except Ethan and Marcus. Damn! I blame the suit. The suit was there for Sonny Hayes and Sonny Hayes only. Listen, everyone else, it's on you, man. It's on you. Get your own suit and then you'll be fine. Ethan is going to go out and have a run start. This will probably be his last best run. He's on brand new tyres there we go, that's what I wanted to use. Along with a few other cars, at least in the pits, getting ready to leave. I'll start again. That is a perfectly nice timed Aston Martin that he can follow. And that will be very, very handy for him if he can take advantage of it. He doesn't want to be too close, because if it's at the start of the lap, you're going to have that hurting you for most of every single corner. But it's just a bit far enough away, you can grab a little slipstream. I'm not sure how much of an effect that actually does in game. Real life, that's a total effect and it happens all the time, but I don't know if the slipstream is actually effective from that distance where the Aston Martin is. And now where Ethan is. First sector, almost a 10th down. He's not improved so far, but maybe he gains heaps and bounds in the straights, and then you can eradicate that 10th immediately. That is commitment into the corner. He's trying. He's going for it. Dylan's out again on the track. Invalidated on whatever this run was. He's on the way into the pits. He's not going to have enough time to go again. I do not believe he'll have any time to go again unless he's absolutely rushing. The animation will take 7 million years. That's Dylan's quality done. He's comfortable. He's comfortable with what he's got. I thought he might try and go another lap or something, but he's decided that's enough for him. F1 Lightning will start another lap. Washcat will start another lap. Ethan, of course, is already on the lap, but has invalidated himself now. He will have time to go for one more, but he'll have not much battery to do it with. He must invalidate it quite late on. And Josh, as well, is on it. We'll get on board with F1 Lightning first. He's one of the first people to come through, and we'll skip her through to the rest. As they cross through the sectors, I want to get some times, actual sector times. I'll try and read them out. I can see what they're cooking. Just to check, that is... How? What? What do you mean? The 5-place penalty for collision at the pit? What is going on? Burn the lap time. What are you two doing on the racetrack? I hope there's a clip. I hope to God there's a clip that exposes one of you two, because that's outrageous. We've got to get back to times. I'll ask more questions about that later. What? Sure, good. It's just a norm. It's the absolute norm. A 52.455 at that point in the middle sector. 52.450 for Josh total. So right now, Josh is 0.06 of a second up. Josh is categorically, as he's quoted in his own words in the chat, forgot how to drive and trying to remember, because that's a never mistake that's catching him off guard, and he's generally going to have to settle for 5th at the highest right now. F1 Lightning will come across the line and try and deliver some business and improve, and he almost steals pole. He's very close, a 7.88. So close to nicking it, but he has to settle for second. Washcat is on the road trying to steal a couple extra time, a couple extra pieces of positions and time on the board. Ethan's done, obviously, with whatever we saw. There's still other cars out. Polo Pepsi's 2.5 temps up. He can find another 2.5 temp. He's 6 temps up. He's 6 temps up. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mercedes might cook here. 6 temps. It's not pole type, but like he'll gain a good few positions here. That's on time for like his teammates' pace where he is right now. Leave the racing before the racing leaves you is crazy, by the way. That one is rude. Lag is making this look, I think, a bit scruffy than I think it might be, but we'll see what the time says as he crosses it. It's a 19.493. And he did find all that time, and more importantly for him and the Mercedes, he's put more cars between him and any other time. Wow. John's now down to 6th place. Washcat coming across the line. Still a cheeky pole. Maybe he doesn't go and do that. It's a 19.1. Ethan stepped up after a very poor race last time in Monaco. I called him out for that outwardly, and he's delivered. His teammate probably called him out more than me, but I just said the words in comms. Raul's dropping a P3 in the thing right now. Polo Pets with a pretty impressive quality. The Mercedes doing nice business right there. Kizzle with a nice pace as well, but unfortunately, how's Ron what? Okay, sure. Kizzle is 7th place. Everyone improved a lot, so he didn't end up getting a top 6 like I think he was almost getting. Kieran, I'm nicknaming you Kizzo as well. Makes it easier. In 8th. Marcus Pooch in 9th. Tar 10th and Lewis. NTSC in 11th. 12th and 13th, obviously, for the last two. Spuds, Qualiban, Ron, part to the dangerous location. But that's a qualifying session. Keeps the record of Dylan having every pole in a normal session. Haas 1-2. Mercedes having a very impressive performance out there from both of them. Impressive. Ethan doing bits. Josh not doing well. On probably his own standards. Not doing well at all. Upload to OneDrive has failed. I'm aware. Don't say that again. Go away. And it's absolutely outrageous. Damn, that's a session. What are you going to do if you plan a turn 1, you aren't returning for the next race ever, or any of the other races. No one's planning A. That's been firmly locked off and banned after last season. Don't worry, we caught that one in, we nipped that one in the bud. We're not having it again. Right. Results, chap. So you can have them on the screen. One more screenshot, and one more time it's going to tell me OneDrive's full. Dylan on pole position, 300th of a second ahead of his teammate, 4 temps ahead of Washed Cattle 7 and NCFC. No, wrong name. Sorry, I was just reading Newcastle now, putting NTFC there. Ethan, anyways, in 4th place. There's too many 7s. There's too many FCs. Polo Pepsi, Josh, Kizzo, Kieran, Marcus, Star, NTFC, Mr. Spuds, Ron, That's the order. That is positions on the board. There's also a 5th place given because of some contact that happened earlier. I don't know what's gonna. Sure, we'll change position. We'll figure out what it does in the grid in a little bit. That's it. That's an exciting piece of qualifying. That's exciting. Damn. Okay. That I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting such a big gap between people I thought would be a lot closer. The top 3 consistent all season in the championship, drivers, and everything. It's just been Dylan, Josh, F19, and every time. Others have added in as they've hopped in every other race or so, etc. Ral's obviously been there. Ron's been there a couple of times. Ethan's been there a few times. But like the main uber consistent 3 of them. And then one of the members have disbanded from this band here. They've decided there's no need. Good for Haas, bad for Ferrari. Ethan will be shouting at his teammate for the first time. Not bad. Impressive qualities, though, from the McLarens, I want to say as well. That was pretty nice from them. Because of doing some extra performances that I think you'd enjoy. I've not any bias. I just like to, put praise on people's when I think they've done better than what I've seen before. So it's nice. There's a formation lap on. We can do race strategy in that. We'll find out what runs there, because things will happen. Right. I'm gonna put that on the board, actually. I need to see this in full big screen. Why is it showing me Shanghai, China? That's irrelevant for this Google Docs. I need to see Monza. That's more important. What race strategies have we got? Tyres. Mediums on the top 4. 2, 3 hard compound tyres. And the Kierans have gone to war and have decided they are no longer taking part in the qualifying session. But the rest are still good. Qualifying session? In the formation lap. 3 hard tyres. Rest on mediums. Ron starting from the back. Trying to go long and see what he can do. Same with the Force Tar. Apollo Pepsi trying to do something alternate just to the leaders. Probably keep track position. Maybe gamble for a little bit of a safety car. There's always chances of safety cars out here. I mean, it's NSL. You know the drill. Race strat that I'm expecting to see in here though is most likely just a standard one stop. So unfortunately, there's actually no fun there. There's nothing to do. When I don't know. I'm honestly going to say this is probably more down to just vibes and whenever your opponent does it. I think it's open enough that you can just do your thing and try. I didn't expect to see a soft tire. I haven't seen a soft tire, so that's quite good to see. Didn't want to be seeing any of those. But yeah, I'm purely expecting just slight variations on the ones. I'd love a 2-stop, but there's going to have to be some aggressiveness to see that pulled off. There's the two DSQs off the line, and Apollo Pepsi... I don't know where they went, but they joined those on the line as well. Meanwhile, we're going on board with the other cars. You got playing with fire on the grid, you know. You're gonna get stone cold tires if you keep doing that. Okay. Grid is pretty much all set. Waiting for Marcus on the board. What a name, by the way. It's a cool name. He's parked. He's... And we're ready to start the session if we ignore that one. 4 or 5 lights are on the board. You know what we've got to go and do. We're racing at Monza. Let's see what we've got kicking off with the grid. Good start, I think, from F1 Lightning, by the way. I think that's not too bad. He's going to have to be working hard with his teammate there. The rest of the cars are definitely funneling out. Almost making it 3 and 4 wide, a little bit further back. Side by side between the teammates. And that's going to be a switch up at the front. That's going to be F1 Lightning in the lead. There's way more contact further back. There's Aston Martin's involved. The Mercedes of Apollo Pepsi is also involved. But the lead has switched. It's Lightning in the leads. It's Dylan in second. Dylan is almost going to try and do it immediately further back. We've got a Williams. Kieran, where have I just seen you turn up from? And he gets clipped on the re-entry onto the track. And Josh is now fighting side by side with Raul. What a chaotic start this is. Everyone is just so unsettled right now and trying everything they can. 2 houses are still in the lead. That's important. Almost messed it up for each other and almost let some other cars in, but I think the rest just didn't get enough of a good start. So maybe if you're starting 1 turn of grids and fighting each other at turn 1 and stuff at Monza, you can afford to do that. I'm not referring to anything that I'm upset about with Monza. Anyways, as we carry on. Wascar's got a little bit of gap, though, between him and the 2 cars ahead, so he's going to have to work a bit hard, but he has kept third, importantly. Josh has gained. That's huge for him. Gained 2 positions. Ron's up 6 positions off that start. Stuff happened at turn 1 and 2. I didn't exactly pinpoint who made contact with who. If there's extra clips, we'll find them out and see what's going down, but I'm not sure. But there was definitely additional pieces of contact made across the board. Is Josh going to think about a move while he's here? 3 attempts seems just a tiny bit too far away. But I don't think it's far enough away for these guys to make a move. Ron and Ethan looking like they're almost turning into each other. Forget the corner. Ron is ahead right now. Hard racing, the hard hits towards the cars. Hard racing is what the stewards have to deal with. It's on that limit. It might be over it. We have no clue. I don't know the context. I don't know if context really saves anyone in this business. That's the other Williams just trying to make themselves known. I can't do too much there. That might be Marcus taking advantage of that one. And he will go and take the position away from Kieran. Although Pooch is now going to be fought immediately off that one. He didn't have the best exit. But he's getting in a few positions too. He's up 6. Pooch and Ron up 6 and 7 positions is not too shabby. I can't lie. Doing all right. So a few changes have happened amongst the grid. Some have stayed, some haven't. Kezel's dropped a few. Satar's dropped 3. Apollo Pepsi dropped 6. And they all had great qualities. So bit up saying that, well, from them, that they've obviously been put down there or whatever happened, etc. But there's a long race to go. And they're all still roughly with each other in the pack. Bar Kezo at the moment. He's the one we get the leader gap going over a pit stop away. Everyone else, though, obviously, because he's made a stop, I should say that. Everyone else is still kind of within distance, within reach of something. Kind of. That is DRS enabled. That is the 2 Hasses switching positions, and I feel like we might see something happen with Josh. He's a little bit too far away. Anything further back? There's a couple 3 wide possibilities. Wasn't taken. Wasn't taken. Oh, and the switchback, though. Is he trying something? I don't know if he got a love tap, though. I just got a snap of oversteer. 2 Hasses switch positions. Raul and Josh stayed in the same place. Ron still ahead of Ethan. Kieran still ahead of Pooch. I have to call him Marcus now because I've actually said I only call people on their gamer tag name. I'm going to have to... You're getting called Marcus for the rest of this because I'm actually getting confused by my own brain now. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Game's a game. Couple little trios and duos of trains pretty much the entire way down the grid. Couple stragglers left out, but there's only really the ones involved in incidents. They can obviously make their way back in. Kieran's pretty much the only Oh my lord. Kieran having a small snap. Boots saying, yeah, I'll have a bigger snap if you want. I'll have an even bigger one than that. That one's scary. That one's a scary time. We'll see how it is. I want to see if eventually we start getting... I don't think we're going to get to that stage yet. We're waiting for a while. I was thinking about pit stops, so it's too early to be doing that stuff. We'll put tyres back on the screen. More important to see who's fighting with what. The hard tyre runners have unfortunately sunk, but again, I don't know if that's down to the tyre solely. I think that's more down to other things actually happening on the cars. We might see, though, despite a faster start being set by Dylan, an overtaking move done from everyone lighting back ahead. The DRS switcheroo might happen a few times. That's close enough between those two every lap. That's a lot of curb. But between the 2 cars behind, Josh is either just chilling or not getting close enough. One of the two, maybe both, which I don't know which one came first, but just a tiny bit far away. 3 attempts. Seem one at the point midway for the straight. Seems like it's close enough to do something. There is contact being made somewhere out here. Who is making the contact? That is Satar missing a bit of end plate, I think it was. It is. I'm not sure if that was from anything else, because they was already there. Who has had a moment? It's Kieran who's dropped position, I think. Because he's now down into 10th place. Yeah, Kieran's the one who's dropped. He looks fine, car-wise. Try and get a proper look anywhere else. He might have just made an error somewhere into the first chicane, but he's still going. Now behind his immediate rivals. Apollo's starting to work his way back up the grid as well. That tyre will eventually become the better one soon. But if you lose many positions, it's not ideal to be making that game. It might be a little bit trickier. Raul, by the way, gap to the front two, 1.9 seconds. Those two are fighting normally loses you time. It always does. If you fight side by side somewhere, I'll just keep switching positions. You lose time, it's a given. But if you are swapping in the most efficient way possible, where you lose the least time, in other words, on a straight every time and not doing it through the corners, you probably can still keep pulling away if you're quicker than the cars behind. So if these two, for example, keep just yo-yoing like this, but only on the straight and keep it clean for every corner, they'll, as you can see, keep pulling a gap. 2.3 seconds. They won't lose any time. The DRS will, in fact, just keep pulling them further and further away without anyone squabbling and stuff. If they do start doing it, then these two are back in the picture. But might be beneficial for them to just literally just keep doing this and not bother about who's actually in the lead right now. Just keep doing this over and over again until that gap's even bigger, if you're confident you can pull away from these two. And hope that these two fight side by side every corner instead of doing it efficiently on the straight. Everyone knows this, though, unfortunately, so it's kind of just down to if the other driver you're racing with is willing to be nice to you, or if they're like, I want this position now, or I want to defend this position now. We'll find out. The game's the game. Back to these trio, by the way, who are still... It's a quartet now, to be fair. It's no longer a trio. Spuds is heating up in 7th place, but we've got 3 cars sniffing to try and get a little closer, but they're all a bit far. Raul's already got himself a track limit warning. Has he gone wide to get that, or has that just been a natural... I'm not sure if that's a natural Ascari moment, or if he's had a mistake. Which way around it is, I'm not sure. That's a bit of a moment, though. I think he might be under threat from Josh. If Josh wants this is an opportunity to take position. The front two are likely to switch positions too if they really want to keep doing it. I'm going to stay on board with this one for now. The front two have swapped. Josh finally is broken a position pass. Will it get counter move? It will not. So the front two have swapped once more, but finally the Ferrari and the Mercedes have done the same too. Now, are they going to play ball and keep doing it? That's the question. Or is that going to keep just yo-yoing for the rest of the time? Mitch Faxing? I can't even do my own phrases anymore. This is outrageous. Spurs are getting a 3-second penalty as he's, I think, been flying a bit aggressively because Polo Peps is ahead. So is Marcus, and Kieran is a little bit away. He won't be able to take advantage just yet. Losing a couple of positions. Got to keep his head. Still can be fine if you're in the train. You won't lose too much. Being in the train is more important than being in a high position. Getting more track limit penalties is not as important, though. You should stop doing that. That's Kieran Nelson on a 3-second alongside Spuds and Washka. That's 3 cars taking the victim of that. Mitch Faxing that's also a phrase. That's fine. And there's Marcus getting one of his own. The entirety of this train has got some except Polo Pepsi. All of them have collected their own consecutive penalties. Pretty much all back-to-back almost in the last few laps. Damn, see how it is. These two are following closely. Josh made some errors. The gap on the last lap, it was been around 2.2 seconds, then it was about 2.4, 2.5. It's opened up about a 10 for 2 each time. And all of a sudden, it's 3.1. That leads me to think there was a mistake happening somewhere in the corner because I don't think that would have easily been a switch. The front two again switching. Dylan back in the lead of that one. But Josh now back into 4th place and further behind. Ethan's going to say hello. He obviously dropped some off the start. Can't make a move from there. He's probably going to be upset with that one. I'm not sure exactly what caused him to drop some positions, but he's behind a rival. Probably not his biggest rival he's got. Fitch Maxing. Please note that one down. I like that one. Fitch Maxing and Max Fitch. We're here for it. Spuds has got an ever 3-second. I think that's him up to 6 now. That's the first person to get a double set of penalties. That's a wide moment for Ron Ethan. He was full throttle. I didn't see him lift. I was going to say, he surely had the momentum to go for that if he really wanted to. Maybe he lifted and I just didn't see it, or he somehow lost... He can't have lost momentum. He must have lifted. He must have just thought, that's not worth my time. I'll lose more time through the middle sector than I'll gain by having a position for even half a second, so he's going to keep it clean. The shuffles around here are crazy. I'm enjoying these. The little, like, just duels across the grid. The front two just playing their nice game. Likely it's going to be a switch. They're not worried about which one of them is in the lead. Well, they're probably in their head like, I want to be the one in the lead by the end. Let me stay in the lead. But they're not too worried about this is going to lose time whilst they're doing this because it's the best way possible. Although it's defending a bit, though. They're not making life easy, but they're making life difficult on the most easy... Like, it's a less restrictive point to do it at. If you're doing it here, it's fine. You can do what you want on the straight. As long as you finish it by the end of the straight, you're fine. See how it is. Josh, back to staying behind at the moment. From Washka. He's got a good race pace, good consistency. That's normally been one of his big strong suits, although he's qualified well in the past as well. But recent this season, he's not been able to get much of a look in. But if he can keep his race performance going and just capitalize on advantages coming his way and opportunities that suddenly open up, he can still make his way back onto the podium, but right now it's tricky. Challenging for the win is not off the cards for anyone yet because there's a long way to go, but he is 5 seconds off the lead. So we'll see how that ebbs and flows later. There could still be a safety car. There could still be a VSC. Someone could absolutely have a mare. The front two could collide, and it's race done for the Hasses. Not in their own backyards. No one's Italian at Haas. Pretend someone's Italian at Haas in their own engine manufacturer's backyard. Maybe. That's a wide moment. Well, how close the big three are to their penalties. They might be there. 6 tenths of a second. I don't think he's going to be threatening anyone from there. 4 tenths for the front two. Might be enough to threaten someone. Hot lap is enabled. He wants to make a clean, nice move. He doesn't want to waste any time with battery and stuff. He's deploying as much as possible. And he will settle himself into the lead. Let's see how much he's defending, if anything. Yeah, it's definitely just... Right now, every overtake and switch between these two is perfectly synced and be done by the end of the straight. They don't need to worry about it. Ron, I think, maybe back ahead of Ethan. These two are still swapping. I'm surprised... Ethan hadn't managed to get ahead and pull a bit of a gap because he's got the hang on, the position switched again. Hold on. Dylan was the one who got the position. He's already back down to second. If I'm correct, did he just lose it immediately? He must have had an error somewhere, but the gap's still the same to the third, fourth place car. Well, that switched around anyways. He gets a second go at being behind for this next straight. Sure. Yeah, what I was going to say, I'm surprised, at least for the early battling, Ethan didn't manage to get more of an advantage because he's the only one in his duos that will keep flicking between who has tyres on his side. And the longer he keeps wasting the opportunity, the longer that's no longer the case. And Ron has tyres on his side, and Ron can just hold on to that forever. It will be way easier and easier for the rest of the time, and he can see a flashing battery. So he's just harvesting a little bit of energy. Remembering that doesn't actually mean you're just running out at 10% because that was broken and shouldn't have made any sense. Still, he'll still keep him close. Further back, the rest of the grid that we saw with Trios has started to pretty much just space out. We're left with these big three trains. Keeping close. Hold up again. Right, let me stay on board with this on this time. I want to see if another error happens and it mixes up. We've got the position switched again. F1 Line is now back down to second place. I have to assume maybe just immediately here it just went wide last time, or... Because it doesn't seem efficient to try and get that position back straight away. Like, right here. Like, that would be you're going against all the saving time and not trying to lose it to the rest of the cars. And I don't think it happened there, so it must have been a mistake we missed. Either way, it settled back to the normal with those guys. Raul and Josh still... Oh, sorry, Wash Kato 7. And Josh still chilling at the moment in third and fourth. Gap to the leaders. Is it any bigger? It's 4.25. It's still roughly the same. So Tar and NCFC switching positions now at the straight. Finally getting to see some cars. So Tar's probably happy with that one. And overtaking an Alpine with wing damage as well, which is not a bad show. See if any counter can be done, although there's a lot of battery being used. This is, again, where I said you don't really want to make the move done. It'd be easy for you to sit behind and do something. Let's see if Alpine is trying to think about it. Ron and Ethan just in positions again, touching the grass a little bit. It's going to make life a bit trickier. I'm surprised space was even given, and that they managed to find their way around to try and even attempt that. Positions stay the same, but that was very nicely done from the pair of them to not hit each other. That could have gone badly wrong, and it didn't, so... We'll take that one. Taking some risks there. I think Lewis wants back past. In quick time. Front guys. Oh. Pit stop. Forget the front two switching positions like we're used to. Pit stop for the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Early-ish. Maybe a little bit earlier than expected. 3-second time penalty as well coming through. Hard tires on the pair of them. One stop set. We already knew it was going to be happening. Right. Leader gap. 27 seconds is, I believe, your golden number for... the leader to whoever these guys are, wherever these guys are on the track wants to funnel out, and if they will be ahead or behind. Let's keep an eye on that one. 27.6 and 28.3 to the leaders. Surely they got to respond then. But the difference is these two aren't teammates, so they could do both pit. Doesn't matter, then you ain't going to be held up by each other. The two at the front are teammates. One of them might lose out badly if they're immediately going to get undercut. 8 attempts to the good, though, for F1 Lightning, and Dylan, by that logic, is about... a temp safe. That's not that safe. That's not that safe. We'll see how they do well on their outlaps at the moment and what these front two are going to do, more importantly. Dylan's second on the road. This is where it's important to be ahead. Like, you might not be worried about it in losing time, but the second a pit stop's involved, then being the car in the lead is quite important. Double stack possibilities. Don't think any of them are going to do it. I was wondering if for some reason they'd play games and one of them would pretend to pit and not, so then they both don't pit. That would be absolutely stupid between a teammate. One of you has to take the earlier stop. Right, this will be the first game to see if that 27 seconds pit loss is actually accurate. And if we're going to see F1 Lightning come out just ahead. The gap was enough for him to be ahead by only by under a second. So it's close. It's not going to be an easy one done. And that's a toe being set by the Williams. That might make it just switch on the other side. Let's see how he comes out nicely. Where is the Haas? The Haas is cleanly out. Cleanly out ahead of the Mercedes. It's a smaller gap than it was before. The undercut has saved some time. It's saved, in fact, it's 3 seconds. How did that not... 27 seconds ain't the time, it seems. Because I saw every advantage that could have been given. Slipstream on that last lap, it looked like clean the whole way through. The Haas came in nicely, didn't see them make any massive mistakes, but yeah, they're still there. So that means Dylan's got comfy time to hit into if that logic's still the same. He doesn't have to worry as much. The time seems to be a little bit different, but they're all still gaining, so he'll probably not wait much longer. There's a 3-second bubble that he'll be slowly falling closer to the Mercedes side of if he doesn't pit in a short amount of time. And I would expect with the battery that low that he's probably going to respond immediately. He does. Speeds. He decides to not speed. Good. I like that. No speeding, chat. Speeding is bad. He'll have a lap fresher tyres, and that will leave the Williams ahead. And the other Mercedes, in fact, should also be ahead as well. A couple cars staying out longer. The hard tyre runners obviously doing so, but Marcus still out on the road in his Aston Martin. Game's the game. Let's see how long he keeps going on for. Right, let's see where Dylan funnels into for the rest of the pack. We'll go on board with his teammate to see whereabouts he funnels in. He's obviously going to be ahead of his teammate. That wasn't as far away as I thought. Hard tyre runners of Josh and Washkart blistering with times to switch positions as well. The Ferrari's ahead of the Mercedes into 5th place. DRS and battery dropped and everything, trying to get an extra point for himself and the team. Nowhere near the front two, though. It's closed the gap down as expected, but damn. I thought, my brain said that was going to be closer. 27-second estimate. Well, I don't know why I looked that one up from. I clearly got that one very badly wrong. Game's a game. One more car into the pits. NCFC was one of the last who hadn't come through. And then otherwise, we're left with the hard tyre runners who are still out on the track. Ron, Polo Pepsi, Satar, and Kizzo still on the road. Kizzo obviously has done their stop. Didn't want to obviously do it as early as they had. So probably is going to go to the end. So I doubt they'll see them in again. It's just going to be an old tyres. Drinking a drink. Where is my drink? It's over there. I will come back to it. I promise you. Remind me in a second. I have to we have to do commentary. I got you in a second though. I'll be there. I will be there. More than you believe. More than you believe. We've got action. Who? Why? Did I just see the Haas shaking their car violently? I don't know if I just saw that. I have no clue. Still within DRS, by the way, of his teammate is impressive. I've seen he's on hot lap and deploying some battery. I thought they might lose that, and that might just be game set advantage to F1 Lightning. But damn, he's still there. Still there. Gap 2.4. Might get a bit bigger if these guys fight side by side into the next corner. Let's see what they've got. So far, it's a clean switch around. I think Josh is smart enough to not really waste time with the side by side battling, but. And Raul obviously also is the same. He wants to have the position and close it into the rest. He doesn't want to lose time. He's got his own penalty as well. There's no point wasting anymore. But I want to see the side-by-side racing. That's what I like. They might not want it, but I want it. It's quite cool. They're going to sit pretty and stay where they are. Remind as well, Ethan did pit. Obviously, he was stuck behind Ron's car and just couldn't make any headway. And then Ron obviously started to keep the advantage. Ron was on the hard tyre going longer. He'll be a threat later on in the race. We'll see what he ends up doing. There's that Satar being passed, I think, by Kieran. I'm not sure if there was contact made, but one of them went deep in the corner anyways. And then play missing on Spud's car? It is. From Ryan, play is missing slightly. More than slightly. But again, his teammates is fine at the moment. But yeah, Ron will be a threat later. Same with Pepsi. They'll eventually be storming through. If they... I'm going to guess it's like more like 24 seconds for a pit loss. Then 27. Let's say 24. My rough brain estimate. Puts him in that nice big pocket behind Ethan and ahead of the Aston Martin if Ron pits into it. If Paul Pepsi pits in, that's another 7 seconds. He'll still pit into... Will he? Yes, just into that gap. Just be a little bit closer to the Aston Martin. They'll have free air to work with. Or one of them will have less time, more time to catch up later on, but still, they'll have some time to work with. That is the switch of positions. Again, surprise, surprise. Excuse me, a little better. Disgusting behavior from me. I'm waiting to see if it does end up getting a little bit aggressive later. I don't know if we're going to get that. Is there much on the line for it? Are they going? I feel like if they think, let's say, Ron and Paul Pepsi is going to be a threat, then they'll fight. It's either one, do you think they just won't be a threat? Let's not fight, save time, not ruin each other's race, hope one of us is ahead by the end of it, and then they don't catch. Or you think they're definitely going to catch. It's not worth us not fighting at all because we'll both get past. Let's just fight now and deal with it and see what happens. Could be that. There's Apollo Pepsi, by the way, being overtaken. He is obviously still yet to pit, and the two Hasses, are they trying to side by side? No, just offsetting onto the corner, not side by side just yet. By the way, Marcus, thank you for the follow as well. The legend. Welcome officially into the stream. I know you've been in for a little bit, but we love the scenes. We love the scenes. Two Hasses, yeah. I thought they might get. Thought it was going to get a little dicey there. Again, it's not worth it. They wouldn't be doing that. It's not smart. Fox as well. Thank you for the follow, T. Again, I've seen you in already, but yeah, we gotta appreciate it. Love the vibes. Love the vibes. We're cooking. We're cooking. This race is heating up slowly. It's taking its time, but we're heating up slowly. Ish. We'll find out. There's the switch again. Dylan's going to go back into second. That probably means Apollo Pepsi's run. He's going to have to pit pretty soon, unless he's going onto a soft tyre. I don't know if he's getting passed by the leaders that have pitted. It's going to be a long road in. I'm not sure how long Ron's going to wait, if he's going to let it go all the way up until he gets caught, but you're only going to have 11 or so laps to push. I'd be pitting soon. Although the early stops was on lap 11 for the medium, so if you wanted to leave at that point, you could. That's a bit of a scrambled moment, and while I'm here, I want to check. I almost quit the session by then. I want to check some possible warnings. Those are just invalidated times. Those are different for some reason. It's fine. 2 warnings for Dylan at the moment. We've got 1 for F1 Lightning, which I think we literally just saw. I was wondering, that's the only reason I put it. And Apollo Pepsi's on 2. What's the others? Watchcat's on 1, 2. He's on multiple because he's obviously got a penalty. Josh is the clean guy right now. Josh hasn't got a single one to his name. Nothing has been in close enough aggressive racing to get any, to be honest. He's just been chilling nicely. But saying that, Dylan and F1 Lightning have been doing the same, and they've got some, so maybe slightly different. I don't know. I'm going ball with Josh. DRS for 1. DRS for the car ahead, though. The Mercedes might have an easier time with this one. Dylan getting the fastest lap of the race, trying to hold on to that position. In fact, we'll go on board to see if he does. He does not. Seeing if they're just risking burning battery to try and offset that change. Washcat is ahead of his teammate. Apollo Pepsi is still out, and so is Ron. Now, this could be a little bit annoying, because Apollo Pepsi's not lapped. Nothing. He's just got a slower car right now because his tyres are older, but it's not going to be horribly slower, but it'll be a bit slower. And he's, thankfully, roused past his teammate at the easiest time to do it. Whereas Josh is still behind this guy for the rest of the middle sector at the very least. Maybe about a second DRS zone, he can have a go. And look at the Mercedes defending, just slightly. That's all you need to do. Just a little bit of offset and slower in the corner because the tyres are just worse. Time loss for one car. Nothing wrong with this. This is just what can happen in a race. This is racing, simple as that. Josh has finally got ahead, but he's lost some time doing so. That was smart for the Mercedes. I'm going to have to assume that's planned. I mean, it's not even planned. You just have to be like, if I'm on an alternate strategy and there's a guy you're fighting behind, I'll try my best to hold him up legally. I think he did exactly that. Not dropped out of DRS just yet because Josh has dumped his entire battery to try and make sure he stays that way. And I think Washcat has also dumped his entire battery to try and get him out of a second. Almost worked. Almost worked. Stays at 8 temps. That could have been a big play. If it was held up through a Scary, maybe, I think that could have been set in stone. It didn't happen. Hello, front 2. Back again. Front... I say not front 2. Second and third. But technically not front 2 yet. That was a late switch, by the way. That didn't happen until very late in the corner. If that gets a little closer, that might end up being... We gotta wait. We gotta actually go side by side and lose time. 2.6 to the cars behind. The shuffle around will keep going on. We could do maths and say on the end of an even numbered lap, they'd cross the line in this order, and the laps are odd, which means F1 would be ahead on the end. If you really want to try and do that, that's if they keep doing this as equally as they have been doing for the rest of the race. That's also if this... Ron hasn't pitted yet, by the way. I need to stress that again. He hasn't pitted. He's still in the lead, but he hasn't pitted. Goal hanging for a safety car would be a huge play here. Which it's kind of half what he's doing. I guess he's just really offsetting his tyres. But like at this point, I think it's more detrimental. If he knows, for example, though, he's going to come out in roughly the same position, it's fine. But he's absolutely lost position to Ethan. If Ethan, at least on track without the catching ability he'll have on brand new tyres. If he pitted now, Ethan's ahead by 7 seconds, roughly. And he's got that position absolutely sorted. 7 seconds, though, in... I don't know how many laps is catchable. I don't know how many laps they're going to have because I don't know when he's going to opt to pit. He's still refusing to do so. He's still in the lead, and they're all about to arrive in a second of the Williams. That is a rear lockage. Rowlick would be proud of what I have just seen. Ron's tyres are old, and they're struggling right now. Washcat and Ethan... not Washcat and Ethan, sorry. Washcat and Josh still in a similar position. Apollo Pepsi has pulled the trigger. Medium tyres for the rest of the race from lap 19 to the end. Finally going for it. A little bit further away, though. There's going to be a bit of a hard push to see if they're going to catch the top 6, and almost might be a push to see if they're going to keep the top 7. Marcus zooming in DRS, but he's not going to be close enough. Almost there. Almost there. Was worried for a second that Merc might dip the grass trying to reclaim the racing line quickly. Didn't. Stays where they are. Might just be safe then for the top 7 at the very least. Position changes to see where they obviously was at the start. I feel that's kind of important. They have lost 2. Not what you want to see, but like... There's possibility they can get those 2 positions back and go where they was. I don't know. Everyone's technically, or at least around the top 5, has at least dropped 1 more than they could have had. Surely because Ron is still out there on the racetrack. Speaking of which, Ron is here on the racetrack. And that might change the play of the front 2. At least the de facto front 2 once Ron's being passed. Because They've been equally leapfrogging, and one of them not having DRS, one of them having it. This time they've both got it. Is it going to be as easy of a switch for Dylan to do? He is going to get past Ron's car. That's a lap at Aston Martin. And there you go. There you go. Because of the DRS helping F1 line it out, he kept the position. They both just passed. The worst timing, technically. You would have rather just Ron's car be out the way in the pit stop, but it didn't hold anyone up. It could have been a lot worse. Like I said, it could have been like the Mercedes holding up Josh, which ended up not being horrible, but that was still annoying. Could have been like that, and it could have been even worse than that. That's probably the easiest way it could have gone, as Ron has got himself a never trap penalty. That's his first, in fact. Finally claimed the never pen on the board. Still not pitting. I don't know when he's planning to do that. Anyways, sure. But yeah, that offsets the run just a little bit. If you was wondering on the mass thing, who's going to be ahead by the end, odd number laps, F1 lines are now technically going to be in a lead at the end of each one. That now means Dylan's going to be in... Dylan might have liked that. I don't know if they ever think about that. I can because I'm waffling and I'm not driving, but he'll be ahead on the odd number laps now. And technically, race ends on an odd number lap. Dylan is waving to his cameras, trying to make sure his teammate also knows he's very much chilling in the DRS zone, ready to go, even getting 3 seconds of penalties. A couple of people collecting themselves a penalty or two now. Only three cars, sorry, that's more than I expected. 3 cars on 6 seconds, they've got a double punch. I do believe there's going to be a switch again. There is some cars going to be coming across, though, eventually for lapped runners. So that DRS might do the same thing that it did for F1 Liner for a second, just delay the laps. You can't, if you're wondering about the offset of who's going to be ahead on what lap, it might be annoying. But if it's on the last lap, for example, that's quite nice. And it does exactly what you just saw with Ron. But I don't know if that's going to fall into play unless they catch those McLarens. That's their only next play, because this car's obviously not going to be holding straight in front of them all the way up until lap 27. Anthony's ghosted, so there's no runs about having to pass it safe or anything. One day I'd love that in NSL, but we're never going to get that until I trust everyone's gone for a CRB check at this point, because it's a harmful task to watch them do it at this point. It's very tricky. Ron still hasn't pitted yet. I just need to inform you again, Ron still hasn't pitted. He's still out of the racetrack. He's now hanging. The thing is, he's... unless I'm missing something. Yeah, he hasn't pitted at all. It's not like he snuck a stop in at the start. None of that. He will straight up be DSQ'd by the game itself if he doesn't cross the line with 2 sets of tyres used. He will be ejected from the stands. He'll be done. That's not me, that's just the games. I mean, obviously I'd do it too if the game didn't, but like, that's the game doing it. So when... It's now! Lap 22, I think that firmly says he didn't trust a soft tyre as far as he could throw it, and he was running a soft tyre. That... I mean, unless he's just doing it for vibes, which I get, because it's probably Ron. He does a lot of stuff for vibes. If this is an actual strategy plan, he's got to be travelling billions of seconds quicker than everyone else for the next 5-6 laps in order for this to work at any point in time. He will come out ahead of the Apollo Pepsi. Remember, they were 7 seconds apart, roughly, before they both had stopped, when it was both on the hard tyres for long. We'll see the gap now. I don't know why I've put it to leader. That makes no sense. They're still 7 seconds. I don't know if Apollo Pepsi lost time or something, but I was expecting that to be monumentally smaller. My brain is not making sense here at this point. 25 seconds to off the leads. 7 seconds to the next car. 7.4 seconds in 5 2/3 of a lap. Is Ethan worried? Ethan's too far away from his teammate. He can't make an inroad on 5th. Unfortunately for him, as he out-qualified him fair and square and couldn't deliver the same in the race after, I think, lap 1 scruffles. But, like, again, that's as much as qualifying your teammate can bottle. You can also get caught in a race thing, and that's just the same sort of stuff. He's behind him for this one, but it's not being the best shown for the Ferraris either way. Although the two of them, this other Ferrari and Mercedes, are still sorting their business out. They could still keep doing stuff. There is a position swap. He's ahead. Up into the top 3 once again. The turn 2, still F1 line in, and still Dylan at the moment on the odd lap. I don't know if they swap positions at the end of that one or not, though. There is technically a tyre life advantage of 1 lap. There's a yellow flag at the start. I think that's just for a lap car. Possibly get out of the way. It's the Tars car. I think that was slow. Maybe. Don't know if I'm calling that one wrong. I don't know what to tell you, is what I'm going to tell you here. I don't know. I like having hard stats and figures to like be like, okay, this will probably happen. Let's see if it happens. I can't tell you what's going to happen. The front 2 ain't set. The final place on the podium ain't set. Ron has caught 1.3 seconds in a lap. 1.3 times 6. It's enough to catch 7 seconds, allegedly. That's what I heard from the rules of maths. It's enough. Not anything more than that place. But he can catch Ethan if he keeps this up and doesn't bottle at any point in time. Maybe, again, like I said, he knew he was only fighting for 5th. It might as well just go for the alternate strat. I generally think this might have just been his plan the whole time. He might go for it. He might deliver 1.2 up in the middle. This also probably nicks the fastest lap of anyone who even wanted it out of the big teams. Trying to gain an extra point. Josh trying to get a point against Dylan, sorry, in the title or something like that. Side by side between him. That's staying side by side, by the way. Oh. I really just wanted it to be side by side for a tiny bit. They're not doing it. They're refusing to take part in racing until the very end. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. Dylan still behind. At this point, by the way, these two can now absolutely play the game of I'll stay behind. Dylan might do, and I generally think now because I don't think he's overtaken or swapped in a few laps now. But he's stayed the same gap. Is this man just going to flat out refuse to pass his teammate? And hold on to that 4 and a bit second gap. And also considering one of them's got a penalty, so he can hold on to it for a little bit longer than that. Although Josh is right there without one. You can just lean into that 4 seconds. Chill back and not do anything. Until the last lap. Oh, that was a close warning. Surely he's got to be on another warning for that. He was 1 away, so I guess he didn't get it. He's been 1 away for a while. But he might just sit back, wait until it's the last lap, dump his battery and ready to go. But unfortunately, I do believe his teammates are aware, as they are both on 100% batteries, more or less. And I was going to say, they're just not using battery in like half the corners to save it for all the straights. They're refusing to. Let's get on board with Dylan. Let me give you some van. Look at that. Dipping out of the slipstream. Turn in his battery off. Yeah, I think we know what the game plan is. We'll be there for lap 27. We'll see what those two do. That's definitely going to be happening. And I'm going to have to assume these two are going to be doing the same thing. It's now who is behind. It's quite set that it's easy to do. Like, if you're behind, it's a very strong chance you'll be the one ahead coming into turn 1. And you can hold that for the rest of the lap. Probably. Ron, I'm not putting on nose cam. Listen, go catch Ethan. I guess he's not catching him anymore because the gap was closing in enough time and it's not anymore, and he's told me to put a nose cam on. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, these lot are definitely playing the game. It's riskier because technically, even though it's the high chance of doing it, it still requires a risk to do it. It's not... You always think in your head psychologically, I just want to be in the lead. We'll deal with whatever it happens later. Ron's now got 3 seconds of pens and he's lost his head. But his... did he get that 3 seconds of penalties by any chance by cutting the entire chicane? Because he's gained 7 attempts whilst doing so. He may have done that. I think he might have actually done that, in fact. Okay, alright. I'll leave him to that. We'll see if he suddenly gains more time. Ethan's also gained some time and gone a corner, so now he's also on 6 seconds. What's going on? Sure, good. Those two are enjoying penalty swappings. We'll have a great time. They're trying to do their business. Yeti dropping 23 months sub on our stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope you are cooking. I hope you're doing good. All the business. You know the job. You know the job. Hope you're having a great time. You've joined a great ending, by the way. The race is... It's about to kick off. It's been on pause. Someone's had to eject the disc and do the thing. It's fun. Wise man in a suit? Don't worry about it. It's fun. Check the start of the stream and watch the Sonic Hayes intro and all that stuff if you want context. I think that's honestly the best explanation I've got for you. Anyone who's joining in, I'm like, why the hell is this the attire? Rewatch the start of the VOD if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, check the VOD and watch, and you'll see. You'll see. I like this, you know. This is good. Wearing a headset is different. That's feeling odd. This doesn't match, dude. Anyways, I'll take this from chat. This is good times. Good gas. On the last, before we've got something to commentate on, this is great gas. Unfortunately, we've got something to commentate on Josh's point of view. He's now a second away. Yes, I should point out the entire time, Brown's a penalty. And Josh, at least earlier, 10 laps ago, had no warnings. But the gap's 1.3. That's going to be a little bit trickier. Anyways, we should probably point out on this part. Because remember how I said being behind on this lap was important because you'd overtake on this part of the track? The gap's getting closer. He's going to have to go for it. And he can't make the space. He can't find any space. Late moves might be called there. He claimed the space quite quickly, but I don't know if there was like a late extra move from one of them. I have no clue. This is going to be cooking. Battery's getting deployed at its highest. We're going to see which one of these two finally claims the lead of this race. Tries to squeeze it, but he cannot. There's no time to do so. On board, cleanly gets the position done. F1 is back at the second. Dylan did manage to find the space. He's up into the lead. Apollo Pepsi has DNF'd and left the session. I think he's had a late mishap at some point. But oh my lord, has Dylan managed to squeeze through? I didn't think he'd find that, considering how I know F1 line drives. He defends. Like, if there's a position for him to defend, he will be doing it. And I genuinely think that's a point gap that I didn't think he'd squeeze in. Josh, by the way, is also now 2 seconds away. I don't know how, but is he accidentally dropping out of a 3 second gap? Is he accidentally going to lose 3 seconds at the last, or is he just going to toy with me to be funny on the comms? It could be that too. F1 line is trying it. There's no way he's going to go for a send in the final corner. Oh, he is going to go for a send in the final corner. Who's got the traction? Who's going to grip? That's all it's going to be. And there's a spin further back for Washkai. I think he's going to lose it. Who's crossing the line in the lead? It's F1 Lion who wins it. That late send is what gives him the win of the Italian Grand Prix. Wow, that was an ending. I didn't think he'd do it. I thought he might cover the gap a bit more, but Dylan left it open just enough and he went for it. That is the win. F1 hasn't won the race, won a race in SL since round 1, and finally goes and takes an F1 again. A very hard fought one against his teammate. Josh does end up getting the podium after probably a struggle of a qualifying and stuff. Washcat in 4th place after doing Washcat things game to game. Even in P5 in the end, Ron, I believe, called off his charge because he probably got bored. Ends up in 6th. We've got Marcus in 7th place. Pooch doing the business, but not enough business for him. Kieran is eventually going to cross the line in 8th. I do believe penalties are going to be 6 seconds or so, but it's not going to be enough to change anything more. He'll have 8th place. Mr. Spuds is going to have 9th and 10th for the Kizzo. So they get some points from McLaren's, but Mercedes keep pulling away. Would have been double points, but Apollo Pepsi with a late DNF was a bit crazy. I don't know what happened specifically, but like that could have been even more points for them. But it's not gone that way. So McLaren still losing points to Mercedes regardless, though. So Satan does end up crossing the line, just missing out on the points, but is finishing still, gets an 11th place. That was a race. The Hasses did bits. I didn't know how it was going to end at the end, but like that move that was done back over through like after the first chicane, I thought, okay, maybe Dylan's got it, but then it changed up on the last corner, and then I was like, okay, and now I don't know who's got it again. That was cool. GG's, congrats to Mr. F1 Line. That was actually a damn good race. Same with you, Dylan, as well, and the rest of the people. That was pretty cool. Not too shabby. I could also pay out the quality thing as well, so I completely forgot to not do that one from Live. Surprisingly, people put Dylan on pole position for that. I'll give him the things. But he didn't win. He didn't win. Only 18 points for himself on the head top. But he does get the fastest lap for his teammates, so that's not bad. We'll give it a proper provisionals so you can have a little proper look. Look at the time. Look at the time gap. How, by the way, did he get the fastest lap? Oh, how has Ron not got that? That is anyways. Everyone landing got the win. 25 points to his name. First in a little bit. Dylan second. Couple seconds back is Josh in P3. Then we've got Washcat and Ethan, the 07 clan, the friends, the best friends, in 4th and 5th. Ron going up from 12th to 6th. Marcus going up from 13th to 7th. Actually pretty impressive regains on that, but they probably should have been there regardless, but either way. Kieran in 8th. Spuds in 9th. McLaren's getting 9th and 10th for Kizzo in the last points position. Zatara down a lap, but still grabbing the last position to finish out of. And then Apollo Pepsi with a late DNF. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know. I have no clue. And then Lewis in 13th, NTFC in the Alpine. DNF a tiny bit earlier on the games to game. No safety car and no VSCs. Yellow flags, but not a single other intervention, bar just pure vibes and racing strategy. Unfortunately, it was at a track where you can't do racing strategy. Realistically, it's kind of just whatever's happening. That was fun. I still think that was pretty fun. Wasn't what I was expecting to call it. What tomorrow track limit pen. A lot of people cut corners and stuff and got pens, and a lot of people I saw them doing it and they didn't get pens. Not saying the game's being bugged. I'm like, but some of you lot were getting close. You were flirting with if the game was going to give you a pen or not. Sooty. We're still out here to Sue. Again, context. Check the start of VOD if you want to. If you don't, no need to ask questions. It's fine. That was fun though. That was fun. I'm now going to get my drink and move and stretch around. Oh yeah, my mic's with me. I can stay. I can keep talking to you. It's fine. We're cooking. Just lost it at 10-1, never good. Listen, if you have that mentality, then yes, you won't. It's a starting block. You can keep improving and keep doing your thing. It will still run. It will still happen. You just got to keep being there and keep learning. Everyone knows that, and it's been the same thing. A lot of people have improved since. Don't put yourself down too early. Or all, ideally, but you get the point. Glad I didn't under fuel, got 1-1 earlier with damage, and that was, yeah, that... Lap 1 seemed to claim a few victims. I didn't get to see specifically who got caught with what. I just saw a couple of people in it. I know Kizzo was down, Star was down a bit. Someone else lost some time too, if I remember right, but I know that obviously probably ruins half your races, especially with no safety cars. It meant you're not getting back easily anyways. That's a tricky one. That was fun. You know what's fun? Turning up next time when I'm probably not in a suit, because I'm not doing that again. Unless it's a big event. Maybe the last race of the season, or when the title can get decided. We're at Spa next, and it's a sprint. We've got a sprint returning back on our head tops, which means we get bigger, more points to be dealing with. And we'll see what runs on that side of it. Canada, Brazil, and Las Vegas are the last few, and yes, there is one more sprint left in the calendar after Spa. Would you like to guess where it is? Las Vegas. But that is your order. And if you're watching and you're like, I'm trying to get involved, here's the screen, here's the details. Screenshot this, send it to the peoples. Or if you just one of the people want to hop in yourself, you can. If you're in a Twitch chat, !NSL, join the NSL Discord, come through, sign up, all the business. If you're on YouTube, it's linked to the description. If you just want to sit back and enjoy it, sit back and enjoy it. It's a good season. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. UK time. We will be there. Sometimes not 8 p.m. because we're delayed, because don't worry about it. But you get the gist. I'll catch you all in the next ones, hopefully. But you better be there for the next ones. This is damn fun. This is a great time. That was good.